Before we start and get to me being unhinged, keep talking about Palestine. It is 254 days into the Israeli army committing genocide. Please, please, please spare some money to one of the links I have in the bio. Literally, even $5 helps more than you know. And if you can't decide on a specific site to go to, there is GazaFunds.com, which has vetted fundraisers that are low on donations. And that's probably one of the best places you can spend money right now. There's also fundraisers for Sudan and Congo and other places in my bio as well. I would greatly appreciate your donation going to any of these links. Hello, it's Rachel. I know this is kind of out of the blue. I just started watching Interview with a Vampire a few weeks ago, and I think 204 was the first episode I caught, as it aired. And that was, my favorite episode, up until that point. Honestly, that's still probably my favorite episode. I really like 204. But yeah, I really liked that episode, so I was like, damn, I should start doing reactions. So I actually took 2 hours to film me reacting to episode 5. But something screwed up with the audio, so when I would pause the video and ramble, what I have is just dead silence. So obviously there's no episode 5 reaction because of that. So here's episode 6. Hopefully you enjoy my chaotic rambling.
At home with it. The day, the hour, the minute you last spoke with Lestat de Lioncourt.
Telegram. New Orleans, Louisiana, early February 1940.
Merci, Monsieur Roger. Illuminated by light.
In retrospect, the buffoon was in the audience.
Like the light by which God made the world before he made light.
Scribbling in the margins, oblivious to the conspiracy uniting around him.
Ticking, ticking, ticking. The precision of a clock in a room as vast as the universe.
Okay, but we literally saw Armand freeze everyone at dinner. So, I guess if he's not thinking to read minds, he wouldn't try, because I presume he's better at it than the rest of the coven, given, again, he froze everyone at that dinner. So I don't think it's an issue of him being overpowered. So I don't, it's not that I think he's lying when he says I was the fool. Because, I don't think he wanted things to go the way they did. But I feel like he was passive. Maybe that's the word I want about all this. Because, he wasn't actively trying to, stay ahead of plotting against him. Because, we've seen Armand's manipulations. He can plan ahead a lot. And I'm just going to stick with he was passive about it, because I cannot coherently express what I'm thinking any better than that.
Bravo!
Really?
Yes,
You were an ancient vampire. You could read any mind you want.
I was in love.
Daniel saying exactly what I was thinking. Thank you, Daniel.
Xavier.
Allez-y, faites vos dessins très ingénieux.
Arrête le lambin, on arrête de revenir, d'accord, hein?
Okay, so maybe I haven't been paying enough attention. So are they taunting her with that and saying she is a Nazi, or is she supposed to be Jewish and they're taunting her with it? But I'm confused about that. And given what she was saying in, I guess, episode 4, it sounded like she had a relationship with a Nazi, which is like, why is Claudia befriending her if that's the case? That's very odd. So, confirmation, I looked it up. Madeline did indeed have an affair with a Nazi. So like, these people breaking into her store, she fucking deserved that. Like, she didn't deserve to be sexually assaulted. I'm glad Claudia stopped that. But she deserved to get her ass beat. I don't feel any sympathy for this woman. I'm not gonna be sad when she dies in the trial. Good riddance.
Probably real shallow now, but not insightful. Human death in all its variety.
What's blood taste like?
You've bit your lip before.
No, what's it like to drink blood? Is
she laughing at Claudia's last words for everyone she killed? That's... Since she's a Nazi sympathizer, I guess that tracks. Cool. This is deeply uncomfortable for me.
You're stronger. I can feel it.
I am.
Harder, too. But you gotta give up something.
Wait, is it supposed to be that, like... I feel like this is dumb of me to say this out loud. But you're stronger, harder. Is that supposed to be because he said goodbye to Dreamless Stott? It's like a switch flipped, and he's colder without him. And I'm making myself sad. That's probably exactly what it is, and I just am feeling the need to literally spell it out, because I ramble.
I said I would not do it.
Maître in the bedroom, maître only when it's hot or convenient.
That's how I took it.
I had reasoning.
What was it?
The way they're sitting so far apart from each other. Oh, peak comedy.
If it is a work in progress, can I just ask, when the fuck is Guido arriving on the stage, please?
He doesn't. He can't. He mustn't.
Where we left off, Santiago.
Guido is hope. There can be no hope.
You want to write poetry, write poems. This is a stage. We perform plays on a stage.
Is this you on
God, why is everyone at each other's throats? So much tension. I don't know. I didn't expect this much discord, because it's not even like they're all angry at Armand. It's just everyone is at everyone's throats. Like, no wonder things went to the trial.
in the playwright?
Not prose poems or fucking maps. And plays require events, Sam. And there are no events in your shitty little play. And Quang and I are bloody dangling up here.
That can be remedied! Gustav!
We do horror shows so we can eat people. You're fangless.
I love your work, Sam. Apologies.
Well played, Maitre.
You summoned me.
There's a script on stage. It's yours for the moment.
And around, humans on stage.
Ignore him. He'll be back.
Okay, that was interesting. So I take back what I was saying, given Sam and Santiago getting in that fight, which was a show for Armand, which makes it even crazier that Armand is not reading anyone's minds. Like, he definitely can. And he didn't think to do it, or he didn't care. Like I was saying earlier, he was just being passive about this. Because if he was so concerned... if he was so concerned about being pushed out, either he doesn't want to do. Now I'm just getting frustrated with Armand. Either you don't want to do this and you just leave, and then it doesn't fucking matter what happens with everyone else left, or you don't want to lose control and you actually like fucking keep an eye on people who are trying to push you out. like what is this? I know this had to happen for the trial to happen because it's Santiago's power play. My god, you're too fucking smart to be this lazy. I just okay.
You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't tell me my mind. I cannot keep it closed anymore.
That's a lie. That's a fucking lie. That's You froze everyone at that diner. Don't lie. Don't fucking lie. No. You can keep your mind closed.
You broke with the coven?
They gave me a choice. I chose.
That's what you said to me, right? Standing in my blood, stroking my hair.
You know it is.
That's my memory of it. But you were there too. Maybe there's something I missed, or maybe...
Louis is being so passive aggressive, and it's very funny. It's very funny. But I need this to just like explode, and for Louis to outright say, "I know you mess with my memories."
Maybe there's something you put in
Stop
there
it!
later.
Stop it. This is too important a moment in our story for these games.
Oh, is there a game being played?
You've remembered what you did to yourself in San Francisco, and you're angry that I erased it.
I am.
You've no right to be. You asked me to do it.
When?
What? He's full of shit. I failed Louis once in my life. It wasn't in San Francisco.
I would never ask you to do that.
Is he gonna ask about Lestat? Is he gonna I asked you to erase it. You literally just said you wouldn't have asked that. God, the gaslighting. I can't do this. This is gonna make me crazy.
I asked you to erase it? Yes.
No, you didn't. No,
After
you didn't.
came out of a shower.
No, you didn't.
In our home in Sussex.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you...
2 days after we abandoned him.
Lies. Lies, 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 lies. Lies. I don't believe it.
There he goes. There he goes. Will he get through the door with that big head?
Why don't you want him to know how much you love him?
That's a little personal.
I fucking knew it. I knew Armand had to be getting up for some reason. And here's fucking Santiago. Was it all a lie? Was it a lie? Was it a lie? Was it a lie? I'm gonna say yes. And he wasn't kicked out. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Oh, everyone's frozen. It was so a fucking lie. It was a fucking lie. Here we go. Trial time, baby. How did Louis forgive this? Because this is the worst thing that has been done to Claudia. This is crazy because she's been through so much horrific shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, awful and awfulesses, and all those who...
This is insane. They made this a fucking performance for an audience. What the fuck? This is so fucked up. Oh my god.
Flourish outside the divide. Welcome! For 150 years, we here at the Théâtre des Vampires have shown you, your obscene predilections, your savage desires. But today, we're shunting human affairs aside.
I swear to God, if the episode ends with Lestat's appearance, because I know Lestat's gonna be at the trial, I'm gonna fucking scream.
The jury may be seated.
Is the human audience who fucking decides this? That's crazy.
Advocate, read the crimes for which this iniquitous trio stand accused.
The making of a vampire from a mortal child.
10 minutes to your entrance. Monsieur Bianca.
Oh my god. Ah! I'm so excited.
Monsieur Bianca.
Thank you.
The heretical desecration of the law.
10 minutes.
The premeditated murders of the vampiress Antoinette Brown and the vampire Lestat de Lyoncourt.
End of episode thoughts. I am extremely frustrated by how much space Madeline took up in this episode, because I didn't include it, but like literally when we're seeing those memories, like the dude she's sleeping with has a Nazi uniform on. Like, they could not make it clearer. And like, is the point that Claudia is so lonely and isolated that like she's so desperate for someone to see her that she's like fine with that person being a Nazi sympathizer? Like, hello? And then the whole fucking thing where Louis is like seeing Claudia through Madeline's eyes, and he's like talking about how beautiful Madeline saw her. Like, am I supposed to believe a fucking Nazi sympathizer is not gonna be racist? 'Cause I don't. I don't believe that. What was this? I don't want to talk about Madeline ever again. This was upsetting. She deserves everything she's gonna get. Go to hell. Nope. Go to hell. That's all I can say. That's the only thing I feel. I hate her. I'm glad she's gonna burn to death. Fuck you, Madeline. I am so mad at Armand, as you can probably tell. It's just I'm not sure if he was trying to manipulate Louis to like take a more active role in things, or if he just was so disinterested in the fallout of what was happening around him. But it was enraging to see him be like, oh, I'm not strong enough, I can't do this. Like, you froze everyone at that diner. You are not going to be overpowered by anyone. He was clearly, he didn't care. He wanted to be with Louis, and that's why he wanted out of the coven, because he was fixated on being with Louis, and Louis just kept refusing to become part of the coven. So he's like, I have to leave the coven if I want to be with Louis, and that's what I want. And I don't care what happens as long as I get with Louis. And because he didn't give a fuck about how it happened, as long as he ended up with Louis, that means he did not put in any effort to protect Claudia. He did not put in any effort to make the rest of the coven happy. Now, as for next week, because the promo has Lestat saying that he wants justice for his attempted murder. And so, like, I get it from his point of view. He's probably angry. But Armand literally discloses that Lestat was, like, the person who had the idea of the Atelier de Vampires. And yet, he's like, yeah, Lestat just fucking up and left. Like, why would he do that if this was his idea? He was fucking scared of the coven. Like, which makes it even crazier that he came back. Basically, what I'm getting at is I think Lestat was equally being possessive and selfish and insecure and, acting out of his fear of abandonment as he was genuinely trying to protect Claudia and Louis from this literal outcome that they're at right now. Because he clearly knew it was a bad idea to turn Claudia. Louis had to beg him to do it. Like, Lestat clearly knew this was going to lead to bad things if it was ever found out by anyone else. I can see him impulsively saying things that are going to fan the flames. But he doesn't want the outcome of Claudia's execution any more than Louis does. He's just not well adjusted. But I think the entire coven wants the outcome of Claudia being executed. So I think even if Lestat tried to sway them the other way, they would still say that she's guilty. But I do think Lestat is going to fan the flames and make it impossible for them to not say that she's guilty. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. I'm excited because Sam Reed is just so damn good in the role, but the story happening is going to be fucking painful. I think that's about it of my thoughts. We'll see what happens next week. I can't end a video without my little COVID spiel. So please stay safe and healthy. COVID rates are pretty high, last I heard. And also be aware, at least for US viewers, that bird flu is becoming a concern as well. Please continue masking or start masking if you've stopped. There's a vaccine for newer variants that came out in September. If you haven't gotten it, now's a good time to do so. And if you got a dose between September and November, now is a good time to get a booster. I'll probably do reactions like this for episodes 7 and 8 just because I know it's going to be crazy. And I have a few scripts for things that are more like video essays that I'm working on. So hopefully that's of interest, and hopefully I'll catch you again soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.